Have you ever felt like this? You wake up already tired. You check your phone and stress greets you before sunlight does. Deadlines, messages, expectations. Your mind races, overthinking conversations from yesterday and worrying about ones that haven't even happened yet. Life starts to feel like a race, a loop, where pressure feels normal and peace feels unfamiliar. And here's the thing, you're not alone. We've all been there. Somewhere along the way, we forget what it's like to pause without guilt, to breathe without urgency, to simply be without fixing, chasing, or proving. And the worst part, even when we have good things in our lives, we're too anxious to enjoy them, too busy surviving to feel like we are truly living. But take a moment. Look around. You have a warm bed, a roof over your head, food on your table, someone, even if just one person, who truly cares. And yet, it still feels like everything is falling apart. Because when your mind is trained to look for stress, you forget how to see the blessings. And maybe today, instead of focusing on how stressed you are, you can gently remind yourself of what's still good, what's still working, what's still quietly holding you together. Because sometimes the biggest shift isn't about changing your whole life, it's about changing what you choose to see. But why is it so hard to see the good? Why does your mind always go back to what's wrong? It's not your fault. Your brain evolved to keep you safe, not necessarily happy. It scans for problems. It remembers the pain. It plays worst-case scenarios on loop. Not because you're broken, but because you're trying to survive. Survival mode becomes second nature. Stress becomes familiar. Even when nothing is going wrong, your mind stays on alert, waiting for something to fall apart. And after a while, you start to believe that this is just who you are, an anxious person, a worrier, someone who can't relax. But let's be honest, we've all been trained to think that way. Somewhere along the way, we started to believe that being stressed means we're being responsible, that slowing down is laziness, that stillness is weakness. We glorify the hustle, we celebrate the burnout, we wear exhaustion like a badge of honor and call it ambition. And over time, those beliefs sink in. You weren't born this way. You learned it from the noise, from the pressure, from a world that keeps shouting, do more, be more, achieve more. And it's exhausting. But here's the good news. What was learned can also be unlearned. You can retrain your mind to notice the small good things again, to feel safe in moments of stillness, to let peace be the default, not the reward. Not easy, but possible. And it starts with awareness, noticing how often your focus goes to what's missing instead of what's already here. But awareness is only the beginning. The next question is, how do you break the cycle? How do you stop your mind from spiraling into stress again and again? The answer isn't forcing fake positivity. It's about retraining your awareness. Just like your brain learned to look for what's wrong, it can also learn to notice what's right. But here's the truth. It won't happen by accident. Because gratitude doesn't shout, it whispers. It's easy to miss, especially when your mind is always chasing, fixing, comparing. But if you're willing to slow down, even just for a few minutes each day, you can begin to rewire what you focus on. Start small, simple, noticing the light on your window, the breath in your lungs, the quiet way your heart keeps going, even when you feel like giving up. We're not talking about ignoring problems. We're talking about remembering the good that still exists alongside the hard, because both are true. You can be overwhelmed and still be grateful. You can carry pressure and still feel joy. And the more you practice this shift, the easier it becomes. Gratitude isn't a feeling you wait for. It's a habit you build, a lens you put on each morning, even when the day feels heavy. Some days it will come naturally, other days it won't. But on those harder days, gratitude becomes your quiet act of rebellion, a way of saying, stress doesn't get to own all my attention today. So when your mind starts spiraling again, when it tells you that nothing is enough, that you're falling behind, that you're failing, pause. Ask yourself, what's still here? What's still good? Maybe it's not everything, but it's something. And that something is where your peace begins. The world won't always slow down for you. Deadlines won't magically disappear. Life will still get messy, uncertain, loud, overwhelming. But the way you move through it, that can change. You don't have to wait for everything to calm down before you let yourself feel calm inside. You don't have to fix everything before you allow yourself to feel grateful. Peace isn't the prize at the end of the chaos. It's the practice you carry through it. And some days that practice looks simple. Waking up and taking a breath before the rush begins. Noticing the way light falls on your floor. Saying thank you for the things you once prayed for. Because here's the truth. Gratitude doesn't erase the hard things. It reminds you you're not empty. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply human, learning to see again. So today, instead of focusing on how stressed you are, gently remind yourself of how far you've come, how much you've made it through, and how much is still quietly holding you up. You are more blessed than you feel. And maybe that's enough to breathe a little easier today. And if this message resonated with you, take a second to pause, reflect, and maybe share it with someone who needs it too. Don't forget to subscribe. There's more light ahead. Let's keep walking toward it together.